SpongeBob Horror Story. Act 1. Approx 20 minutes runtime if read performed with pacing, dialogue, and dramatic pauses. Fade in. XT Bikini Bottom. Night. The ocean floor is dark, murky. The happy coral colors of the town are muted. There's no laughter, no bustling fish, only silence. A faint current blows, stirring sand across the ground. Narrator, in a distorted French accent, uneasy. Our little yellow friend is about to discover that even under the sea, darkness waits. Scene 1. SpongeBob's house into SpongeBob's pineapple, living room night. SpongeBob sits on his couch, nervously flipping through a book titled Ghost Tales of the Deep. Gary meows uneasily. SpongeBob, chuckling nervously. Oh, Gary, it's just stories. Ghost ships, cursed anchors, haunted kelp forests. Ha! Nothing to worry about. A loud knock at the door. SpongeBob jumps, dropping the book. SpongeBob. Eep. Who could that be at this hour? He opens the door slowly. No one's there. Only the sound of dripping water. On the doormat lies a strange black seashell, glistening as though alive. Gary hisses, shell retreating into his bowl. SpongeBob, picking it up. Ooh, a spooky seashell. Maybe Patrick dropped it? The seashell lets out a faint whisper, unintelligible. SpongeBob blinks, looking around. SpongeBob. Did you hear that, Gary? Scene 2, Patrick's rock ext. Patrick's house. Night. SpongeBob, still holding the black shell, knocks on Patrick's rock. Patrick, from inside, groggy. Who disturbs my slumber? SpongeBob giggles. SpongeBob. Patrick, quit being dramatic. Did you leave this spooky shell at my house? The rock opens. Patrick's eyes are bloodshot, dark circles beneath them. Patrick, low voice. Don't touch it. SpongeBob startled. Huh? Patrick's face twitches as though fighting to stay normal. Patrick, throw it back into the trench before it's too late. The rock slams shut. SpongeBob stands in shock. Scene 3. The Krusty Krab Int. Krusty Krab. Night. Mr. Krabs counts his money at the register. SpongeBob enters, holding the shell. SpongeBob. Mr. Krabs, look what I found. Patrick says it's cursed. Mr. Krabs' eyes widen. His claws clamp shut around his money. Mr. Krabs, grim tone. By Davy Jones's locker. Lad, where'd you find that? SpongeBob. It was left on my doorstep. Mr. Krabs leans close, whispering. Mr. Krabs. That's no ordinary shell, boy. That be the call of the abyss. The legends say it whispers. Calls to things that should never be woken. The shell pulses faintly, a heartbeat like thrum filling the restaurant. Squidward, mopping lazily, freezes. Squidward. Ugh, is someone playing creepy sound effects again? He looks up. His eyes fall on the shell, and his smug look fades. Squidward, quietly. Oh no. Scene 4. Whispers. In tea, SpongeBob's house. Later that night, SpongeBob lies in bed. The black shell rests on his nightstand. Gary refuses to enter the room, hiding in the hallway. As SpongeBob drifts to sleep, the shell whispers louder. Shell, distorted whisper. Spawn, G, come, deeper. SpongeBob tosses and turns. His dream shifts. He sees a dark trench, glowing eyes deep in the abyss, and shadowy arms reaching for him. What is that going? Awaken us. He wakes up screaming. The shell is now on his chest, though he swore he left it on the nightstand. Scene 5. The warning int. SpongeBob's house. Morning. SpongeBob rushes to Patrick's house. Patrick looks worse. Pale, trembling. SpongeBob. Patrick. The shell. It keeps whispering to me. Patrick grabs him by the shoulders. Patrick, panicked. You didn't listen. The shell, it's a beacon. They'll come for it, no matter what. SpongeBob, confused. Who's they? Patrick shakes his head violently. Patrick, you don't want to know. You need to get rid of it, SpongeBob, now. The ground rumbles faintly. Both freeze. The water around their feet swirls unnaturally. Distant voice, guttural, layered. The call has been answered. Scene 6. Final beat of Act 1, Ext, Bikini Bottom, wide shot, day. The cheerful city looks darker than usual. Shadows stretch unnaturally across the sand. Fish citizens glance nervously at the sky. Narrator, distorted, uneasy. And so, what began as a simple shell becomes the first note in a song of terror that will echo through the deep. The camera pans downward, deep into the trench outside Bikini Bottom. Something massive and unseen stirs, opening glowing eyes. Cut to black. Title card. Blood-red letters across the screen. Act 1 end. SpongeBob Horror Story, The Magic Conch. Act 2. Fade in, XT. Bikini Bottom. Day, the sky above is strangely dim, as though a storm brews overhead, but no storm clouds are visible. Fish citizens hurry through the streets, whispering about the unnatural chill in the water. Narrator, distorted French accent. Something ancient has awoken, and our sponge finds himself tangled in its song. Scene 1, the Cracksent, Krusty Krab, day. The restaurant is nearly empty. Squidward stares blankly out the window while SpongeBob tries to cook patties, but his hands shake. Every time he flips a patty, he hears faint whispers, muffled but growing clearer. Whispers, echoing faintly from the grill. Deeper, come deeper. SpongeBob, clutching his spatula. Stop it. Stop whispering at me. The grill suddenly cracks down the middle, flames shooting upward unnaturally. SpongeBob stumbles back. Mr. Krabs shouting, "Neptune's beard, that's enough, boy, shut it down." But the cracks in the grill continue to spread, like veins, across the Krusty Krab floor. Dark water seeps up through them. Squidward, muttering, terrified. "It's happening again." SpongeBob, to Squidward. "Again? What do you mean, again?" Squidward refuses to answer. His eyes dart nervously to the shell in SpongeBob's pocket. Scene 2, Squidward's confession int. Squidward's house, night. SpongeBob forces Squidward to talk. The atmosphere is tense. Squidward pacing, clutching a glass of kelp wine. Squidward, grimly. "You think I don't recognize that shell? I've seen it before. Years ago. A band camp trip near the Abyssal Trench. We found one just like yours." He pauses, shaking. Squidward. "Half the camp vanished that night. The water swallowed them whole. The rest of us swore never to speak of it again." SpongeBob is frozen, horrified. SpongeBob softly. "So what do I do? How do I stop it?" Squidward, grim. "You don't. You can only survive it, if you're lucky." The shell on SpongeBob's table begins to hum loudly, vibrating violently. The windows of Squidward's house shatter inward, water rushing unnaturally through the broken glass. A faint chorus of voices fills the room. Voices, layered, guttural. We rise. We rise." Squidward and SpongeBob cling to furniture as objects float around them in the current. Squidward, panicking. "Get that thing out of here." Scene 3, the descent ext. The trench edge, night. SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward stand at the edge of the abyssal trench, the black shell glowing in SpongeBob's hands. The trench is darker than darkness, an endless pit in the ocean floor. Patrick, terrified, clutching his stomach. "We're too late, they're already awake." The ground rumbles. Strange shapes slither deep within the trench, their glowing eyes multiplying. SpongeBob, determined, though shaking. "If I put it back, maybe they'll stop." Squidward, "Or maybe you'll set them free completely." The shell's whisper becomes a deafening scream. Shell, shrieking, "Return! Return!" Suddenly, a giant shadowy tentacle shoots out of the trench, slamming down into the sand. The three are thrown backward. Patrick, screaming, "Run!" Scene 4, Bikini Bottom in chaos. Ext, Bikini Bottom, night. Back in town, chaos unfolds. Buildings crack, water currents swirl into tornadoes, and fish citizens scream as strange shadow creatures emerge from the sand. Humanoid, eyeless figures made of black water. Mr. Krabs boards up the Krusty Krab as customers pound on the door. Mr. Krabs yelling, "You brought this curse here, SpongeBob, and now it'll take all of us." The creatures move silently, dragging fish into the shadows. Their bodies dissolve as if pulled into another world. Scene 5. The Sacrifice. Warning int, SpongeBob's house. Night, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward regroup. The shell pulses violently now, filling the entire pineapple with its glow. A booming voice shakes the house. Voice echoing from shell. "One must stay, one must sink, a sacrifice, and we're all will drown." Patrick stares in horror. Squidward grips his head. Squidward, snapping, "No, no more, I'm not going back down there." SpongeBob, terrified, clutching the shell. They want someone to take the shell back, into the trench. The glow brightens, casting horrific shadows across their faces. Gary hides under the couch, meowing in panic. Scene 6. Final beat of Act 2. XT. Bikini Bottom, wide shot, night. The camera pans across the destroyed city. Shadow creatures stalk the streets. Fish run for their lives. The trench rumbles in the distance, glowing faintly red. Narrator, distorted heavy. The abyss has awoken. The call has been answered. And soon, the sea itself will belong to them. The shot lingers on SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward staring out at the trench, the shell glowing in SpongeBob's trembling hands. Act 2 end. Still awake? I hope you're enjoying the story, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's continue. SpongeBob Horror Story, Act 3, The Magic Conch, Final XT, Bikini Bottom, night. The destruction continues. The seafloor is fractured, dark currents swirl, and the shadow creatures roam the streets. Narrator, distorted low. A sacrifice demanded, a choice to be made, and yet, there may be another way. Scene 1. A memory int. SpongeBob's house. Night. SpongeBob grips the black shell, shaking. Patrick trembles beside him, while Squidward paces. SpongeBob's eyes dart around, then land on an old dusty box on a shelf. He pulls it down. Inside lies the magic conch shell, forgotten from their old club days. SpongeBob hopeful, whispering, "The magic conch." Patrick gasps. Patrick gasping, "Of course, the conch can tell us what to do." Squidward rolls his eyes but clutches his head. Squidward, grim, "You're really gonna trust that toy while the world collapses?" The house shakes violently. A shadow creature slams against the window. SpongeBob holds up the conch desperately. SpongeBob, "Oh, magic conch shell, what do we do?" A long pause. Then the conch squeaks its familiar monotone. Magic conch. Return. Balance. The black shell in SpongeBob's other hand shrieks in response, its whispers furious. Scene 2. The Choice XT. Outskirts of the trench. Night. The three approach the edge once again, the ground splitting apart, tentacles writhing in the dark abyss. The booming voice roars again. Voice from trench. "One must sink, one must stay, a sacrifice, or all drown." The black shell pulses violently. Patrick grabs SpongeBob. Patrick desperate. "I'll do it. I'll sink. You and Squidward, live." SpongeBob shakes his head furiously. SpongeBob, "No, Patrick. There has to be another way." Squidward groans, covering his ears as the whispers get louder. Suddenly, the magic conch glows faintly in SpongeBob's other hand, countering the black shell's shriek. Magic conch, calm, monotone. No sacrifice, only silence. The trench quakes. The shadow creatures screech and stagger, covering their ears. Scene 3. The Struggle Ext. The trench. Continuous SpongeBob holds both shells, one black and alive, one pale and glowing. The two resonate, the water trembling between their opposing powers. SpongeBob screaming over the noise. "They cancel each other out. The magic conch, it's fighting it." The black shell lashes out. forming shadowy arms that wrap around SpongeBob, trying to drag him in. Patrick and Squidward cling to him. Patrick, screaming, "Hold on, buddy!" The trench erupts. A colossal figure begins to rise, its eyes glowing like suns in the dark. Voice roaring, "Give us the shell!" Magic conch, calmly, "No." A blast of light shoots from the magic conch, colliding with the black shell. The two shells vibrate violently in SpongeBob's hands. Scene 4, the break close on SpongeBob. His arms shake, his eyes wide with fear. SpongeBob, screaming, "I don't need you." With all his strength, he slams the two shells together. A blinding explosion of light and shadow floods the trench. The black shell shatters into shards of darkness, shrieking as it dies. The magic conch floats silently, unharmed, then falls into SpongeBob's hands. The colossal shadow figure lets out a final roar, collapsing back into the trench. The tentacles writhe, then vanish into the abyss. Scene 5, the aftermath Ext. Bikini Bottom, dawn. The first rays of sunlight pierce the water. The streets are cracked, the buildings damaged, but the shadow creatures are gone. Citizens peek out, dazed and afraid, but alive. Patrick collapses onto the sand, laughing weakly. Patrick, we made it. Squidward sits on a rock, staring blankly at the horizon, traumatized. SpongeBob, holding the magic conch. "Thank you, conch. You saved us." The conch gives its usual squeaky reply. Magic conch, "Nothing." SpongeBob smiles softly, hugging it close. Scene 6, final beat. EXT, the trench, wide shot, morning. The trench is calm, but the camera pans deeper, until the faint glow of shattered black shell pieces is seen sinking slowly. One shard twitches, then another. Tiny whispers echo faintly. Whispers, "Not gone, never gone." Fade to black. The end. I hope you've enjoyed this story. Like and subscribe for more.